What if everything you know about the world was held down by just a slightly heavier hand? Imagine waking up in a reality where gravity is 10% stronger than it is today. Every step feels like carrying an invisible weight. Every jump is shorter. Every mountain climb, a relentless fight. Cities, architecture, human anatomy, even the course of history. Everything would bend under this invisible force. How would civilization evolve if the air was the same, the sun the same, but every movement demanded more effort, every structure required more strength to stand, and the simplest tasks became subtle acts of defiance against the pull of the earth? In this episode, we explore a timeline where gravity's grip is just enough to reshape everything we take for granted. From the rise of human physiology, to the design of ancient and modern cities, to the evolution of sports, transport, and warfare, the world itself becomes a battlefield against nature's quiet but relentless tyranny. We will see how humans, animals, and even nature itself would adapt, and which inventions we might never have created because the extra pull made them impossible. Lean back and imagine a world where every moment is weighted, every step a choice, and the earth holds us a little closer than it ever has before. Imagine a world where gravity pulls with an extra 10% force, not enough to crush humans, but enough to subtly, constantly shape every aspect of life. Every step taken would feel like trudging through a thicker air, every jump a struggle against the invisible hand of the planet itself. Children would develop differently, their muscles slightly stronger, their bones denser, yet their energy drained faster in play and exploration. Cities of stone and steel would be designed with far more conservative ratios. Arches thicker, bridges shorter, towers lower. Ancient civilizations would never attempt colossal pyramids or high ziggurats without sophisticated engineering adjustments. Even everyday objects like cups, tools, and weapons would need to be heavier, sturdier, and easier to grip. Sports, long-distance travel, and farming would be redefined. Long-distance runners would tire faster, rowers and swimmers would face amplified resistance, and plowing fields would demand more team labor or mechanical leverage. In this reality, survival depends not just on intelligence, but on raw physical endurance and adaptability. Humans would evolve under this constant pressure, favoring compact, muscular bodies capable of enduring the persistent strain. Cities would sprawl horizontally rather than vertically, and architecture would emphasize support over aesthetics, efficiency over beauty. Civilization itself would be a testament to humankind's ability to resist the silent but unyielding grip of a heavier earth. In the natural world, the consequences ripple even further. Birds, for example, would face drastically altered flight mechanics. Lighter, smaller species might struggle to lift off, forcing evolutionary shifts towards stronger wings, denser muscles, or ground-dwelling lifestyles. Predators and prey alike would adapt. Cheetahs might never achieve their current speeds, changing hunting strategies. Trees would grow shorter and thicker to counteract additional stress, altering forest density and light distribution. Rivers would carve slightly deeper valleys under the extra pressure, affecting sediment patterns and ecosystems. Even weather patterns could subtly shift. Atmospheric circulation might respond to marginally denser air, caused by gravitational pull, producing slightly stronger winds or altered rainfall. Agriculture would become more labor-intensive. Humans might need to invent mechanical tools centuries earlier just to manage heavier soil and denser crops. Animals domesticated for labor would be larger, stronger, and bred specifically for endurance. Every living creature would share a collective burden, evolving within a universe subtly, but relentlessly, reshaped by an unyielding force. The planet itself would feel heavier, as though pressing down on the ambitions of every creature and civilization attempting to rise above it. The history of human engineering would be rewritten. Stonework that once seemed simple would require decades more innovation. The Great Pyramids of Giza might have been half their current height, as even the extra weight of each stone would multiply under a stronger gravitational pull. Roman aqueducts might have required thicker arches and more frequent pillars. Skyscrapers in the modern era would either be shorter, wider, and fortified with denser steel, or they would risk collapse under their own weight. Transportation technology would develop differently. Cars, trains, and bicycles would require stronger engines, heavier frames, and more fuel efficiency to overcome the constant drag. Even early mechanical devices, gears, pulleys, catapults, would face immediate limitations, inspiring alternative approaches that would diverge sharply from our own historical inventions. Warfare would change drastically. Projectiles would drop faster. Siege engines would be less effective, and soldiers would tire more quickly carrying armor and weapons. Human conflict, mobility, and conquest would be constrained by the very fabric of the planet itself, forcing societies to rely on strategy, endurance, and innovation more than brute strength or rapid movement. Social structures and daily life would evolve around endurance. Humans might live more locally, avoiding long-distance travel due to the fatigue of constant gravitational strain. Urban planning would prioritize short, walkable distances. Sprawling suburbs and multi-story apartments would be rare or engineered with extreme care. Jobs requiring physical labor construction, farming, military service, would favor those with extraordinary stamina, perhaps accelerating societal reverence for strength and durability. Art, sports, and leisure would adapt. Gymnastics, parkour, and acrobatics would be limited, while strength-based contests and endurance challenges might dominate cultural life. Education systems could emphasize physical resilience alongside intellectual growth, fostering a population capable of carrying both mental and physical burdens. Even food culture would change. Diets rich in protein and calories would become essential to counteract daily energy expenditure, influencing agriculture, trade, and global economy. In this world, every aspect of existence is subtly yet consistently altered by a force invisible to the eye, but inescapable to the body. Civilization becomes a living response to gravity itself. The future, then, is molded by this invisible hand. Space exploration would be far more difficult. Rockets would require more fuel, stronger engines, and reinforced hulls to escape Earth's enhanced pull. Colonizing other planets might be delayed by decades or centuries, as heavier gravity would slow technological progression and strain human ambition. Even philosophical thought might shift, grounded by the awareness of constant, tangible resistance. Humans could develop a worldview steeped in the understanding of endurance, struggle, and resilience as a fundamental truth of existence. In essence, gravity would not just shape the physical world, but the human mind, culture, and destiny. Everything we know about architecture, biology, travel, warfare, and even thought itself would bend beneath the extra 10% pull of the Earth, transforming our history, evolution, and potential in subtle, yet profound ways. A simple increase in force, invisible and unyielding, rewrites the story of life itself, proving that even the smallest change in nature can ripple across every layer of civilization, evolution, and human endeavor. As humans progressed, the subtle but relentless pull of heavier gravity became a silent architect of innovation. Simple tools evolved into advanced machines far earlier than in our history, driven not by curiosity alone, but by necessity. Levers, pulleys, and cranes required re-engineering with thicker materials and stronger anchor points. Even simple construction projects demanded teams of workers rather than individuals, reshaping labor dynamics and social hierarchies. Families might have clustered in close-knit communities, optimizing collective physical endurance for building tasks and agricultural production. Early civilizations would prioritize horizontal expansion over vertical, designing sprawling complexes with wide bases to counteract structural stress. Roads would be shorter and flatter, favoring easier transport of goods and people under the constant gravitational burden. Ships would be bulkier and sturdier, their sails optimized to counter the denser atmosphere's marginally increased drag. Warfare, trade, and communication would all bear the imprint of this invisible constraint. And empires that adapted fastest would dominate, creating a world where survival hinged on the combination of intelligence, endurance, and engineering mastery. In nature, the heavier gravity would impose its own evolutionary rules. Birds, insects, and flying mammals would face constant selection pressure. Only those with exceptionally strong musculature, efficient wing design, or alternative locomotion methods would survive. Forests would be denser near the ground, with shorter but wider trees supporting more massive trunks and branches. Herbivores would evolve stockier builds, with stronger legs to bear their weight, while predators would develop endurance over bursts of speed, changing the dynamics of predation entirely. Aquatic animals would also feel the subtle consequences. Water density remains the same, but stronger gravity would slightly increase energy expenditure during vertical movements, favoring species with more efficient swimming techniques or smaller vertical ranges. Even microorganisms might adapt, with sediment layers in rivers and lakes compacting slightly faster under extra gravitational pressure, affecting nutrient cycles and the evolutionary pathways of freshwater species. The natural world, like human civilization, would be a testament to adaptation under constant resistance, a planet whose every living creature is forged by the same invisible force that humans battle daily. Technological development would accelerate in ways both predictable and unexpected. Engineering would dominate intellectual pursuit as survival and progress demanded mastery over physical limitations. Bridges spanning rivers would be shorter but far thicker, relying on multiple support pillars. High towers might be abandoned in favor of extensive underground or horizontal networks. Agriculture would face major pressure. Heavier gravity increases labor intensity, requiring stronger draft animals, more efficient irrigation systems, and innovative plowing technologies. Humanity's early mechanical genius would be refined under constant constraints, fostering early invention of counterweights, reinforced materials, and modular construction techniques centuries ahead of our timeline. Even weaponry would evolve differently. Projectile paths would arc more sharply, forcing armies to rethink artillery and siege strategies. Armor would need to balance weight with protection carefully, as mobility under heavier pull is harder to maintain. The interplay between environmental pressure and technological evolution would create a world in which innovation is not optional, but essential to survival, shaping civilizations that are mechanically sophisticated, physically resilient, and unimaginably resourceful. Human physiology would be shaped by necessity more than choice. Taller, slender individuals might be rarer, while shorter, denser builds dominate populations due to their endurance under constant gravitational load. Muscles would be thicker, bones denser, and cardiovascular systems stronger, evolving to sustain the body's daily battle with gravity. Children would mature physically earlier, and sports or physical competitions would prioritize endurance and strength rather than speed or finesse. Occupations requiring fine motor skills might favor lighter, more agile individuals, while heavy labor would dominate social hierarchies. Education might include rigorous physical training alongside literacy and numeracy, preparing youth for a life where survival, labor, and exploration are constantly physically demanding. Even cultural values would shift. Heroism might be measured by feats of endurance, architectural ambition by practical strength, and leisure by activities that complement the body's need to resist gravity rather than escape it. Human psychology itself would be molded by the invisible hand of the planet, fostering patience, persistence, and a respect for the relentless weight of nature. By the time cities grew into complex metropolises, gravity's influence would be apparent in every street, building, and skyline. Elevated structures would be rare. Transport systems would prioritize low, stable tracks, perhaps favoring railways over roads for their efficiency and reduced energy expenditure. Public spaces might be more expansive to allow ease of movement, with fewer stairs and more ramps. The architecture of the future would balance beauty with resilience, using arches, trusses, and reinforced materials extensively. Even art and culture would reflect the struggle. Statues might depict humans in motion under weight, literature emphasizing endurance and adaptation, and performances celebrating feats of strength. From the evolution of organisms to the shaping of human society, the extra 10% of gravity becomes a silent but omnipresent force, dictating the shape of life itself. Civilization would stand as a monument not only to human ingenuity but to human resilience, proving that even slight shifts in nature can ripple across every level of existence, changing the trajectory of life, progress, and history in profound, often invisible ways. In a world burdened by 10% stronger gravity, human military strategies and warfare evolved under a silent, inescapable pressure. Soldiers needed more physical endurance to march long distances, carry weapons, and maintain combat readiness, which changed the nature of armies and leadership entirely. Campaigns that took weeks in our timeline could take months or even years, as the physical strain of marching under heavier gravity slowed troop movement and exhausted resources more quickly. Cavalry units, once the pride of ancient armies, would face severe limitations. Horses would need to be stockier and stronger, able to support armored riders over long distances, reducing mobility and the element of shock in battle tactics. Sieges would require more manpower and ingenuity, as the construction of siege towers, catapults, and ramps would be hindered by the extra pull on both materials and laborers. Even naval warfare would transform subtly. Ships would sit slightly lower in the water. Sails would need to compensate for denser air and heavier masts, and long voyages would demand greater endurance from sailors managing heavier loads. Over centuries, nations that mastered endurance, engineering, and supply logistics would dominate, redefining the global balance of power. Strategic planning would evolve into a discipline as much about managing human fatigue and gravity's limitations as it was about tactics and weaponry. Travel and transportation, essential for trade, exploration, and cultural exchange, faced immense challenges in this heavier world. Overland travel demanded sturdier wagons, stronger draft animals, and more frequent rest stops, slowing commerce and limiting the range of early trade networks. Roads needed thicker paving and shallower slopes to reduce strain on both animals and humans, leading to a denser network of settlements along travel corridors. Maritime exploration, the driver of empires and globalization in our history, would be significantly harder. Heavier gravity increased the effective weight of cargo, made shipbuilding more labor-intensive, and required more careful planning for provisioning. Explorers venturing into mountains, deserts, or jungles would encounter amplified fatigue and logistical difficulties, limiting the expansion of early knowledge and delaying colonization of distant lands. The flow of ideas, goods, and culture would be more localized for centuries, producing societies that are physically stronger, highly adapted to their environment, but perhaps slower to develop global connectivity. Even the simplest act of walking long distances or lifting goods could become a defining factor in societal organization, favoring collaboration and collective labor over individual effort. Cultural evolution from architecture to art would be subtly yet deeply shaped by this gravitational pressure. Monumental structures like temples, amphitheaters, and pyramids would need wider bases, reinforced materials, and horizontal expansion, resulting in cities sprawling across the landscape rather than rising vertically. Sculpture and statuary would celebrate endurance, showing humans in mid-stride, carrying weight, or engaging in feats of strength, reflecting society's respect for resilience over elegance. Music and performance arts might adapt to physical constraints. Elaborate dances requiring leaping and aerial movement would be rarer, replaced by performances emphasizing rhythm, coordination, and stamina. Sports would similarly evolve. Endurance competitions, tug-of-war, and strength-based contests could dominate, shaping societal ideals of heroism. Even clothing and fashion would be influenced by functionality. Heavier fabrics, reinforced footwear, and practical designs would take precedence over purely aesthetic choices. Education systems would integrate physical conditioning as a core discipline, ensuring that each generation is prepared to meet the challenges of heavier gravity, making resilience, strength, and persistence central cultural values. Exploration, both of Earth and the stars, would be dramatically altered under the influence of heavier gravity. Mountains, previously climbable with moderate training, become formidable obstacles requiring specialized preparation, equipment, and incremental strategy. Desert and jungle expeditions demand extreme endurance and carefully rationed supplies, slowing the pace of discovery. The concept of space exploration would face immense challenges centuries earlier. Rocket design must overcome increased gravitational pull, requiring exponentially stronger engines, reinforced hulls, and more fuel. Even human physiology would impose limits. Astronauts would experience amplified strain under gravity during training and launches. Consequently, space travel and colonization efforts would be delayed, reshaping the timeline of technological development and extraterrestrial ambition. The philosophical implications of this restraint might even influence societal priorities. Humanity could focus more on mastering its home planet, perfecting engineering, agriculture, and sustainable urban planning, rather than venturing prematurely into the cosmos. The weight of gravity literally and figuratively grounds civilization, forcing ingenuity to focus on endurance, adaptation, and precision rather than speed or flight. Militaries, cities, explorers, and cultures would converge in shaping a world defined by human resilience under constant pressure. Armies march slower but stronger. Cities grow sprawling yet fortified, and societies prize endurance, innovation, and collaborative strength. Humans themselves evolve into denser, muscular beings capable of managing the daily toll of gravity, with organs, bones, and muscles optimized for long-term strain. The arts, architecture, and literature would celebrate survival and adaptation rather than conquest or speed. Even global connectivity would be delayed, trade networks limited, and knowledge spread slower, yet the civilizations that thrive would be unyieldingly robust, prepared to endure centuries of challenges. In essence, a mere 10% increase in gravitational pull silently sculpts every layer of existence: the human body, the built environment, culture, exploration, and the very trajectory of civilization. It proves that even small shifts in nature can fundamentally redirect the evolution of life, human ingenuity, and the story of history itself, leaving behind a world heavier in effort, but richer in resilience and creativity. By the time industrialization arrives, the subtle extra pull of gravity has already reshaped centuries of human adaptation, creating populations with denser muscles, stronger bones, and an instinctive endurance that is embedded into daily life. Factories are constructed with thicker steel beams, shorter floors, and carefully engineered machinery to withstand increased stress and vibration, while workers operate under tighter safety protocols to avoid exhaustion and accidents. Vehicles, from trains to cars, are reinforced with engines designed to compensate for the higher energy demands imposed by heavier gravity. Roads are straighter, flatter, and supported by thicker foundations. Bridges are shorter with multiple supports, favoring horizontal expansion over height. Urban planning prioritizes low-rise, sprawling metropolises with fewer stairs and more ramps to accommodate the physical strain of daily movement. Even modern appliances and consumer goods are engineered for efficiency under added weight, requiring stronger motors, reinforced handles, and durable materials. In education, children train both physically and intellectually, learning early that endurance, strength, and stamina are essential skills to navigate a world where every object, every movement, and every structure carries slightly more resistance than our own timeline. Transportation networks in this world have evolved dramatically to compensate for the increased effort needed for movement. Aviation is revolutionized early, as the extra 10% gravity demands more powerful engines and reinforced fuselage designs, slowing the adoption of lighter, smaller aircraft. High-speed trains dominate over cars for long-distance travel due to efficiency, while bicycles and motorcycles are optimized for mechanical advantage and weight distribution. Even shipping and logistics require thicker hulls, larger crews, and advanced cranes to load and unload cargo under the heavier pull, delaying the globalization of trade in early industrial eras. On a human level, daily commutes are physically demanding, creating a society that prizes stamina, collaborative effort, and planning. Sports evolve to highlight endurance over speed, lifting over sprinting, and swimming over running. Gym culture, physical therapy, and nutrition become pillars of modern life centuries earlier, integrated into social norms rather than optional activities. In essence, every journey, every task, and every achievement is a testament to human perseverance, making endurance not just a trait, but a defining cultural principle. Technology advances under the constant pressure of gravity, but innovation follows a different trajectory than in our timeline. Skyscrapers are rare or heavily reinforced, their designs emphasizing stability over height. Elevators carry lighter loads, and staircases are designed to minimize fatigue. Robotics, exoskeletons, and mechanical aids arrive centuries earlier to assist with labor, construction, and transport. Even the digital revolution unfolds under the influence of these physical constraints. Servers, computers, and manufacturing equipment are engineered for durability, anticipating mechanical stress and wear over time. Military technology also adapts, emphasizing lightweight but powerful weapons and vehicles, while strategic planning focuses on endurance, supply logistics, and fortified positions, rather than rapid maneuvers. Urban layouts encourage efficiency of movement with pedestrian pathways, ramps, and compact neighborhoods, reducing energy expenditure. Culturally, citizens are celebrated for physical resilience, engineers for innovation under strain, and planners for foresight in designing a world that bends but does not break under the weight of gravity. The social implications are profound. Daily life under stronger gravity demands collaboration and community, as individuals cannot rely solely on speed or agility to succeed. Families, neighborhoods, and work groups are tightly knit, sharing tasks and distributing labor in ways that ensure survival and efficiency. Healthcare advances focus on musculoskeletal strength, cardiovascular endurance, and injury prevention, while nutrition emphasizes protein-dense, high-calorie diets to sustain energy under constant load. Education integrates intense physical conditioning alongside academic learning, shaping generations of humans capable of thriving in a world that constantly resists them. Leisure activities, entertainment, and culture reflect this reality. Endurance competitions, cooperative games, and art celebrating human persistence dominate public life. Even urban design incorporates aesthetic nods to endurance. From monumental staircases that celebrate human strength to statues depicting citizens carrying tools, goods, or other humans as symbols of collective resilience. Gravity is not just a physical force. It permeates identity, culture, and societal structure, forming the backbone of civilization itself. By the 21st century, humanity thrives in a world where every aspect of life has been molded by gravity's invisible hand. Cities are sprawling, low-rise marvels of engineering, transportation networks optimized for endurance, and populations naturally resilient to the demands of everyday life. Space exploration, while technologically feasible, is a monumental challenge, requiring advanced propulsion, reinforced craft, and meticulous preparation to overcome the extra pull. Even virtual or digital realms are informed by this history, as human innovation favors reliability, durability, and long-term resilience. Cultural narratives celebrate perseverance, collective effort, and adaptation over speed, wealth, or conquest. In science, medicine, and architecture, humans display mastery of both nature and self, yet every achievement carries the subtle imprint of gravity's persistent pressure. The world itself becomes a living record of endurance, a civilization built not only on intellect and ambition, but on the daily triumph of resisting the constant, invisible weight of a planet that refuses to yield. Gravity, increased by just 10%, proves it can quietly but profoundly shape the trajectory of human development, technology, and culture, creating a civilization that is stronger, more patient, and more deliberate than anything in our own history. Looking into the future, the implications of a world with 10% stronger gravity become even more profound, shaping the trajectory of human ambition, space exploration, and global civilization in ways subtle yet unavoidable. Space travel, long a dream of humanity, is fundamentally transformed. Rockets require exponentially stronger engines, reinforced hulls, and increased fuel capacity just to lift off the surface, forcing scientists and engineers to innovate propulsion technologies centuries earlier than in our own timeline. Colonization of other planets, whether Mars, the Moon, or beyond, becomes a monumental challenge, as the human body itself is conditioned for endurance on Earth, but must adapt to drastically different gravitational environments. Artificial gravity systems, advanced life support, and exoskeletons designed for planetary habitation become essential, not optional, components of every exploratory mission. In this heavier gravity world, humanity's relationship with its home planet is profoundly altered. The weight of Earth is a constant, tangible reminder of the physical limitations that shape everything from urban architecture to human physiology, influencing how societies prioritize innovation, sustainability, and interstellar ambition. Every calculation, every mission plan, and every design choice must factor in the persistent, silent pull that subtly governs life on a scale far beyond what most humans consciously perceive, forcing a future defined by both physical resilience and technological ingenuity. Global civilization, molded over centuries by the additional gravitational pull, enters the future as a society deeply focused on efficiency, endurance, and adaptability. Urban landscapes evolve into sprawling, horizontally organized megacities optimized for low-energy movement, with public transport networks, roadways, and pedestrian paths engineered to minimize fatigue. Architectural design favors stability over height, emphasizing durable materials, wide foundations, and modular construction capable of withstanding both environmental pressures and daily human activity under heavier gravity. Education systems integrate rigorous physical conditioning alongside academic learning, producing citizens capable of managing extreme physical tasks while maintaining intellectual capacity. A society in which physical resilience is as valued as knowledge. Sports, culture, and entertainment celebrate human endurance, cooperative problem-solving, and long-term achievement, rather than speed, spectacle, or fleeting triumphs. Even governance and military strategy reflect this adaptation. Planning emphasizes logistics, sustainability, and long-term endurance rather than rapid deployment, while global trade relies on robust infrastructure and carefully coordinated supply chains, creating an interconnected world that is slower to move, but far more resilient, capable of withstanding both natural and human-made crises. As humanity continues to explore and expand technologically, the scientific frontier is shaped by the extra-gravitational pull, fostering breakthroughs that would be impossible under lighter conditions. Energy generation must account for the added weight of massive infrastructure. Power plants, wind turbines, and solar arrays are reinforced and engineered for maximum efficiency and durability. Robotics and artificial intelligence become central to overcoming physical limits, with exoskeletons, autonomous construction machines, and heavy lift drones allowing humans to perform tasks that would otherwise exhaust or injure them. Space colonization projects are designed around modular habitats with gravity-adaptive systems, engineered to simulate Earth-like conditions for long-term survival. Even in medicine, biotechnology advances rapidly. Humans are treated to enhance musculoskeletal strength, cardiovascular efficiency, and overall endurance, with gene therapies and biomechanical implants becoming common to offset the relentless toll of daily gravity. In essence, civilization evolves into a hybrid of organic resilience and mechanical augmentation, a world where humans rely on both nature and technology to thrive, demonstrating the adaptability of intelligent life under physical constraints that would seem minor but cascade across every level of existence. The philosophical and cultural implications of living under slightly stronger gravity are equally profound. Societies develop a collective consciousness of endurance, patience, and cooperation, as every human interaction, from work to recreation, carries a subtle but persistent physical cost. Cultural narratives celebrate persistence, long-term strategy, and incremental achievement, while myths, literature, and art depict struggle against invisible yet omnipresent forces, reinforcing societal values centered on resilience. Religion and philosophy may evolve around the physical reality of endurance, framing human life as a balance between effort, adaptation, and triumph over natural constraints. Psychological resilience becomes a core component of education and upbringing, with meditation, strategic thinking, and stress management incorporated into daily life from a young age. In this heavier gravity reality, humanity develops not only stronger bodies, but a mindset geared toward meticulous planning, cooperation, and innovation, understanding that even small environmental changes can redirect the course of civilization, evolution, and personal destiny. Every invention, every cultural practice, and every decision is subtly guided by the need to endure and adapt to a world that refuses to yield fully to ambition. Ultimately, the future under 10% stronger gravity is a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and adaptability. Every aspect of civilization, from the microscale of individual physiology to the macroscale of global infrastructure, space exploration and cultural development is shaped by the silent, persistent pull of the planet itself. Humanity evolves into a species defined not merely by intelligence, creativity, or ambition, but by the ability to thrive under constant resistance, to innovate under strain, and to collaborate for survival and progress. Space colonization, energy generation, and technological mastery become triumphs of endurance as much as of intellect, reflecting centuries of adaptation and foresight. This heavier gravity world teaches a profound lesson. Even minor natural forces, imperceptible in daily life, can reshape the course of evolution, society, and history. Humanity's journey, though burdened by weight, becomes richer in resilience, deeper in strategy, and more deliberate in every endeavor, proving that true progress is measured not only by speed or conquest, but by the capacity to persist, adapt, and thrive under relentless, invisible challenges.